Ladies and gentlemen, KocoSports.com proudly presents Wrestle AM. It's half wrestling show, half morning show, pretty much all BS. And of course, you got half the Koco crew here holding it down live. Yours truly, sexiest man on all of Internet Wrestling Radio. That's right, boom, boom, here, shaking the room, live from the RVA, Richmond, Virginia. And of course, joining me there live across the pond over in England, fresh off his third semester at Hogwarts, talking about LK. What's up, buddy?
Dude, where'd you go? I could picture you having like a little list of introduction lines you could give me. That was on the list of one of the top best ones you've given at the Hogwarts. I like that a lot.
Well, I just tend to think British people, you either have two career paths. You can be like a wizard or James Bond. I think that's the only two career paths you've got out there that's viable.
The only two, believe me, the only two.
So how the hell are you, man? We got another NXT in the books, man.
Yeah, it's been a while. I mean, we missed the past 2 weeks of NXT, but we're back and running with NXT review. We didn't really miss much. I did watch the shows. We didn't particularly miss much. But this week's show, I enjoyed it for the majority. I'm going to give it a strong tie.
Strong tie. Okay. Of course, you there, if you're watching here on the interwebs, go ahead and put over here in the comment section or in the live chat, would you give tonight's show? Do you give it a win, loss, or tie? LK here gives it a strong tie. I'm just going to give it a win. I enjoyed it. I really felt like NXT hit like the reboot button, and they said, okay, we've been rated, we've been cleaned out because of the draft, we've been trying to get our footing. I felt like this show, they've started to find their footing. There's a direction now. There's a path. There's some superstars here that they're going to try to develop to be the next crop of big names and talent to push. And I felt like, okay, that's a huge step in the right direction. Like last week was a good step. This is, again, they're continuing the momentum, another step in the right direction. So that's why I am giving it a win. So, but all in all, to that, what do you think about just some of the? They've announced that they are going to continue the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. They had two women's matches. They've had right now there's some drama right now with the NXT Championship. It seems like, and plus we've seen some debuts and some people be pushed a little bit harder. What do you think about that?
I like the Dusty Rhodes Classic. I really do. I think that tournaments in any way are just great, and I think Rasser ran to put that in tournaments that on his Twitter machine, that no matter like what it is, tournaments are always great. So I like that, and I like how they've been promoting and building the tournament from this week's NXT. I just feel that we're just waiting on the next stars, and I'm waiting and we're getting Liv Roadman Morgan, and we'll get onto that later on, and it'll be one of the fucking funniest stories I've ever seen. The Ely brothers. I just don't care. I don't really care about these people, but it's developmental. It's the developmental brand, so give them time, and then I'll probably care. It is hard to remember sometimes that this is still developmental. I find it sometimes I struggle to oh fuck, these guys are training. Mandy Rose really impressed me tonight on this show, and I didn't expect me to come on here and say Mandy Rose impressed me. She generally impressed me.
All right, well, let's take a look at the show here. The first thing we start out with is, obviously, I just mentioned the second annual Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, and the finals are going to take place at NXT TakeOver, this time in Toronto, to our neighbors here to the north up in Canada. Hey. All right, so first match is we have the Perfect 10, Ty Dillinger, and taking on Angelo Dawkins. I popped for Ty Dillinger. What can I say? I'm a huge fan of the Perfect 10. I like the Perfect 10 gimmick. Angelo Dawkins, I made some comments about 2-3 weeks ago that I think it's time for him to go, and you know what? I'm sticking by that. Ty Dillinger ties it up with Angelo. Excuse me. Excuse me, I haven't coughed all day. This is the first time I've coughed. Anyway, they tie it up and lock up on the early end. Ty Dillinger, getting out of a hole, doing the Perfect 10, doing the cartwheel, mocking Dawkins, stirring up some trouble here. This enrages Dawkins. They tie up some more. Dawkins ties it up with them. But eventually, the pace picks up. Ty Dillinger catches Dawkins, hits that tiebreaker, gets the win. Oh, but that's not all. as he's leaving, you hear Bobby Roode's music hit. The crowd just goes crazy. He says, it was impressive, impressive. You're an 8, maybe a 9, but you're not quite a 10 yet. And you know what? I've known you for a long time, and I've been here, and I want to be at the next level. One of the things that pulled me here to NXT was to win the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, but I haven't been here long enough to make any friends, but I really need a partner. And he just kind of makes the offer says, you know what? I need an answer. Look to the head. I need a partner. So Dillinger kind of hesitates for a second. He looks up, looks back at Rude, finally shakes his hand, and then we have, I guess we're going to call this tag team Perfectly Glorious, or the Glorious 10, however you want to put it. I like Perfectly Glorious. And suddenly I've got a favorite tag team now for this Tag Team Classic that they just announced.
Yeah, they're the best team in NXT and they haven't wrestled a match yet. Like, what a brilliant, whoever came up with that they deserve an extra couple of dollars in their paycheck. Like, this was part of the promotion that they're doing for this Dusty Rhodes Tag Classic. It's absolutely magnificent. Like, they're taking the top people and putting them in this tournament. It's going to make it for great TV. I honestly think we're going to get a Bobby Roode Ty Dillinger match at Toronto. That's what I think we're going to get. Or they might get to the finals. Either way, I don't think they'll get to. I think it'll be a Revival Gargano and Ciampa final. That's how I think. Revival Gargano.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking either the ones that's going to win it, it's either going to be Gargano and Ciampa, Perfectly Glorious, or the Authors of Pain. I'm thinking, that they may do something here, and with it, I'm going to see how it plays out. But those are my 3 favorites early on, and I'm looking for somebody to turn on their tag team partner. Yeah, what better way to get Ty Dillinger over and to get more heat on Bobby Roode than having Roode turn on Dillinger at the very, very end?
That would be brilliant. Yeah, that would be real. Or even if they win it, and then just hit him in the head with the trophy. Just break the trophy over him. There
you go. And then they had an interview with Hideo Itami. He talked about taking on Lince Dorado, saying he has heart, unlike Austin Aries. Called Aries a baby, called him a coward. Maybe you should just put him to sleep. Then we go out what we thought was going to be tag team action. You see the debuting Ely twins, identical twin brothers.
Basham brothers. Basham brothers.
The Bashams were not twins.
They looked it.
No, they looked similar, but no, they were not twins. That was Damaja and Doug Basham. They were. God damn it! I hope I don't have to do this, but okay, it's story time with Booms. Once upon a time, there was another developmental promotion called Ohio Valley Wrestling that was based out of Louisville, Kentucky, and Doug Basham was the lead heel on there, and the guy who became Danny Basham was a guy who played a character called Damaja. I hope I pronounced that correctly. It's been about 10 years. Those two were actually feuding, but WWE wanted to call both of them up, so to compromise with Jim Cornette, who was running OVW at the time. They put them in these gold outfits and called them Los Conquistadors, so they could see them wrestle, but without blowing the lid off their feud in Ohio Valley. But no, they weren't twins. Now, the only twins that I actually remember wrestling, and God, I'm gonna have to go way back here. They're two twins. 2 twin teams that I remember: Ron and Don Harris, the Harris brothers. Now they wrestled as the Bruise brothers, or the Blue, Jacob and Eli Blue, in the WWF, and then of course they went over to WCW. They had I can't remember I think it was the same gimmick, and then they came back as 8-Ball and Skull. They were part of that faction called Disciples of Apocalypse, the one that Bryan Adams led in that huge clusterfuck of a gang warfare. It was basically white bikers, Puerto Ricans, and black people beating the shit out of each other, and it made everybody very uncomfortable because of all the racial implications they were running. The other twin tag team that I could remember was WCW. This is way back in the 90s. It was the Cole brothers. And I can't remember anything about them other than they both had blonde mullets. That's about the only thing I remember. The more you know. Sorry.
I get.
Go ahead.
I was supposed to say, before I talk about the Ely brothers, I'm very critical on these Japanese folks talking English. I'm always very critical on it. Hideo Itami, out of the Nakamuras, the Asukas, is the best out of the lot at speaking English. I can understand him the best. I really can. So Hideo Itami, good job, my friend. Good job. Ely brothers, they came out. They're in generic black trunks. They look exactly the same. I don't care. Like, please. I'm not even joking. Like, why waste their debut on that? Like, what a waste. Like, what a waste. Like, okay, they're on TV. Okay, it's TV time. But you just fed them to Samoa Joe. And now when they re-debut, expect me to take them seriously? Come on.
Yeah, I mean, I know what you're saying. I think, they could have done that with anybody else. They literally could have done that with any kind of job. Now, the Ely twins have been wrestling on NXT house shows, from what I've read. But, yeah, they got destroyed by Samoa Joe before the match. They were supposed to have a match with the Revival, but it never got started because Samoa Joe was in there and started beating them both up and said, this is what I warned you about. I'm gonna destroy the roster until you give me Nakamura or you give me my championship back. And because of your indecisiveness, this is going to continue. And a little side note, I thought it was freaking hilarious because the Revival was like, yeah, we don't want any of this. And I got to laugh when Scott Dawson just went right back into reverse, zipped his jacket back up, and turned around. It was like he did his whole entrance in reverse. It was like, nope. Hell no. I do agree with you. I think the only thing that maybe, and I do stress maybe kind of saves this is the fact that you got Samoa Joe. He's a monster heel. He's a former NXT champion, so it makes a little sense that he can easily beat up a couple of rookies, no problem. But I do agree with you. It's like, okay, this is their debut. They both get beat up by one guy. And now when they come out, there's a little bit of a hole that they have to start out in, which I don't think is fair.
No.
Next, we get to some women's action. We have Mandy Rose, that golden little goddess, taking on Ember Moon Double Round. People are going to think this is an insult, but hear me out. I think as of right now, Mandy Rose is already as good as Ava Marie. And people are like, wait a minute, that's an insult. No. I'm like, no, dude, she's a rookie. She debuted like last month. She debuted in a 6-woman tag in August. And it's already September. She's already as good as Ava Marie. But here's the compliment. She's only going to get better.
Dude, I think she's better than half of the fucking women down in NXT. I think she's better than the long-legged one from Australia, the Billie Kay, I think her name is.
Yeah, Billie.
I think she's better than the majority. And I actually wouldn't mind seeing a Mandy Rose Asuka if she hits as hard as she hit in this one. I generally like it. And I'm going to talk a bit quieter because, believe it or not, my girlfriend's currently sleeping upstairs. Okay, so I don't particularly would like her to hear this, but Mandy Rose is absolutely fucking smoking hot. It takes a lot for me to look at a wrestler and think, oh, fuck, I would do anything to destroy that. Mandy Rose, my son, if you ever need any accommodation, the PWME UK headquarters, there's a nice little bed over there. Just come over it. Hit me up on email. Or these youngsters, hipsters say, slide into DMs. That's what you got to do. Yeah, unbelievable. Wow. I was blown away with... I mean, she wore as little clothing as you can for a PG show, as it's just legally allowed. Like, if she wore anything less, then there'll just be no clothes.
It'd be the Attitude Era all over again.
Oh, unbelievably hot. Beautiful girl.
Yeah.
Beautiful girl.
Yeah, and not to take away anything from Ember Moon, she's gorgeous. But no, she had a good match. They traded some blows there. I like her finishing maneuver. Now on the Indies, she was called the O-Face. I think they're going to call it the Eclipse. I thought they were going to call it the Moon Landing, but I believe they're calling it the Eclipse here in NXT, which fits. But that's just amazing. I was kind of like, and I guess maybe I like this match because when it ended, I was like, oh, well, that's it. I wanted more, but I think the match was perfect. It was perfect. I mean, you got Ember Moon has been wrestling for about a decade now, because I remember when she debuted in Texas way back in the day. Mandy Rose is fresh out of the Performance Center, and I was like, they did just enough. I think they did just enough to kind of highlight both their positives and hide their weaknesses and have the audience wanting more. And no, I really enjoyed that match. So perfectly,
Yeah,
I think good job all around.
And legitimately, looks aside from Mandy Rose, I think that in the end of the day, she's actually a lot better than, like you said, Eva Marie, and she was on Tough Enough last year. Like, generally, like, incredible. Like, she's blown away whoever that won the male one, I forgot. And then who was that stupid fat prick? What was his name? ZZ. He's a piece of shit. He better not be wrestling.
I thought he got let go in the last rounds of cuts.
That would be an absolute tragic shame. That guy's a fucking disgrace to every wrestler who's ever just stepped foot in a ring. Absolute sack of shit. Carry on. Rant about a guy who's unemployed. Love it.
Next, then they had Dasha Fuentes. She talked to DIY about their checklist. They talked about when they got here. You know, they debuted, and it's hard to believe, but yeah, it's been about a year. Remember, they debuted in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic last year. So they talked about, you know, running off the Revival, and, you know, so it's like, you know, we've got a checklist, and they started, you know, we want to win the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. We want to beat the Revival, and then we want to win the tag team, the NXT Tag Team Championships. So there you go. I thought that was a pretty good promo there, and to me, I had to shake my head and realize, oh yeah, it has been a year. So, man, can you believe it? 365 days of DIY. Hell yeah.
ZZ's unemployed. ZZ is unemployed. He was released on July the 28th, 2016. Absolutely amazing, and I hope he never steps foot in a ring. And if you go and pay a ticket to watch ZZ wrestle, shame on you. Shame on you. But yeah, it is a shock, like you touched on earlier before I went off onto ZZ rant again. Oh, it has been a year, and it's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy how a year's gone.
Yes, it is.
I think this year's tournament's going to be a bit better than last year's. Just by judging who's in it.
Yeah, I think they're going to make it a 16-team tournament. They're going to do the finals. I like it. They're putting some importance on this. Then they did this Sanity teaser, and by the way, this is not spoiler. Sanity. I thought Sanity was going to be like kind of like a little tease for, because they hired Crazy Mary Dobson. They signed her, and I thought, oh man, they're putting a lot of effort into it. No, Sanity is not a person. Sanity is going to be a faction. So just putting that out there. They should be debuting within the next few weeks. I'm not going to say who's in it right now because, you know, I don't want to give out spoilers. But just heads up, Sanity is a faction, not a person.
Now I watch NXT in here, right in this beautifully comfy chair, and obviously my house is just down there a little bit, and it's dark out there. Like if I can move it like that, it's pitch black. It's generally pitch black outside. And when that promo aired, every single time, generally I don't like it. It scares me. I'm not into horror films. I don't like the masks and all the shit. I don't like it. I generally had to turn away because I don't like it. You may think, oh, look at that ponce, look at that little imbecile. I generally find that promo video package to be very scary. And that means it's done its job. And I don't know who these people are because the night is dark and full of spoilers and I'm very good at finding my way around them. I hope it's someone worthwhile because, you know, the video package, I'll always remember those video packages because they were scary.
All right. Next here we had this was a quick tag team match. It was the Authors of Pain taking on Jesus De Leon and John Cruz. Did not last long. I think they tossed De Leon to the outside. They battered the hell out of Cruz. I like the double team maneuvers where they held the guys, like one was on the each side and they basically had them like in a half Nelson apiece. Were kneeing them in the gut, then they picked him up and just did like a gut buster on them. Then they hit that Russian leg sweep lariat combination, got the pin, got the win. Paul Ellering said, you know what, we've just closed the first chapter. We're here and we're going to hurt some more people is all you need to know. There's chapter 2 is just a plethora of pain. So I like that. I like the mystery. And by the way, speaking of Precious Paul Ellering, I finally watched it this week. I looked on WWE.com, went on the network, and found the last Battle of Atlanta. So that was the end of the feud between Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer and Wildfire Tommy Rich. And then, of course, Paul Ellering was Sawyer's manager at the time. He had to be suspended in a cage above the cage. This was the inspiration for Hell in a Cell. If you're a big fan of pro wrestling, I would recommend checking it out. Now, the match itself, it's not. I wish it would have went longer, but it was still good. And this is where they got the idea for Hell in the Cell. This is where they got it. I mean, when you look at modern feuds like Zayn Owens, this is kind of where stuff like this is headed. So I just thought I'd throw that in there.
That's on the collections and then the hidden gems, if I'm right.
Exactly. It was lost. It was long believed that there was no existing. There was pictures, but there was no existing video of the match for the longest time. There was a rumor going around that Ole Anderson, who appeared in this, he was running. This was, I believe, this was back when it was called Georgia Championship Wrestling. They were still they were an offshoot of the NWA at the time. That he accidentally damaged or destroyed the footage. I don't know. And then the reason they got it now is I believe that Paul Ellering maybe had a copy or found a copy, but that's how we got it. Now, if you're going to watch it, I do want to warn you that there is no commentary on it whatsoever.
Wow.
I mean, no, it was not meant to have. It's actually what you get is 2 matches. You get the last Battle of Atlanta, and you get that match. And then there was a stipulation that if Wildfire Tommy Rich won, then Paul Ellering would have to take on Ole Anderson. So immediately after the match, they rolled Sawyer and Rich out of the ring, and then Ellering is in there, and then he just gets clopped. Here comes Ole Anderson, just comes out in street clothes, and it is just a straight up fucking fight.
I'll have to give that a watch. I'll have to give that a watch one time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like Ellering's promo. It was okay, short and sweet to the point, like you said. I hate their finisher, the leg sweep into the clothesline. They could do so much better, like a double choke slam or like a power bomb. I just don't like it. It's a fucking Russian leg sweep and a clothesline.
I'm thinking that's coming later. Remember, these guys are still in developmental. Maybe this is just a combination move that looks devastating, that they can both do and do safely. Because remember, you want to be able to do this safely. So I would rather them stick with this combination finisher right now.
Safely. He dumped a man over the top of the fucking top rope to the floor, just gorilla pressed him. What's safe about that? There's no safe way.
About them executing the move. Remember, they just threw him, and the guy was prepared to land. All the guy had to do was land. I'm just saying that, don't put them in a position where they're going to hurt somebody with a move by doing a move that they can't do it on their opponent without protecting them. So if they can do this and protect their opponent, fine. And if they can, and further down the line, I know they did one combination where there was a combination of kicking in the head / sidewalk slam. You could go to that one next, or you can do something else. But just, for right now, if that's what they can do and they can do that safely, I'd just say let them stick with it. Things can change. Remember, Bobby Roode, his original finisher was like a pump handle slam, and then he's changed it now to a DDT. Andrade Cien Almas, his original finisher was a double knees in the corner. Now it's a hammerlock / DDT combination. Solomon Crowe, when he first debuted, his original finisher was he just bounce off the ropes and fall on top of you. Then he changed it over to the stretch muffler. So there's always room for change and evolution. So just bear with them.
Dude, imagine you're in the back and you're like, okay, I'm going to run through my match. Okay, what do you want to do? How about you throw me over the top, gorilla press me so I'm above the rope? Just drop me. Just drop me on the floor. Just drop me. I'll take it. I'm a man. Just drop me on the floor. You know, no crowd reaction or nothing. Just drop me on the floor. Dude, like, you're a sick man. They probably got them from the fucking ZZW training academy or something. Crazy fucker. Unbelievable. He won't have a long career if he keeps doing shit like that. Unbelievable. In a fucking squash match on NXT, try to get noticed and signed. I don't think that's the way to go about it. God.
Then we get to go to the backstage here. Charlie Caruso checking in with William Regal about Nakamura. Said he hasn't been able to speak with them, but he can update you about the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. He was interrupted by Blake and Murphy, who said, okay, they won in. They tried to patch things up, but they started bickering back and forth. And he told them, obviously you don't have your stuff together, so just leave here till you get together. And then when you get this thing sorted out, then you can come back to me. I thought that was just kind of funny.
There's nothing really to add to that, really, is there? It's just we gave Blake and Murphy something to do. Like, I guarantee they'll be released this time next year. I reckon they'll be released. I reckon they'll be one of the first champions from NXT to be released.
No, I think they already had. I think the first champion to get released was Oliver Gray. He was the guy who won the.
With Neville.
Yeah, with Neville.
Okay. Yeah. He's done pretty well in the UK Indies. He's doing pretty well for himself. He's with Rev Pro quite a bit.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know he was still wrestling. That's good. That's good to see you guys feedback up on him. That's good. Then next we have, dearly beloved, we are gathered here to mourn the loss of Liv Morgan, who got her ass kicked by Asuka. Oh my God, I love this I don't know why, but I can't stand Liv Morgan. I don't know what it is about her, but I can't stand her.
She is. I'm going to go. She is. Okay, this is what Liv Morgan is. Okay. I'm 19 years old. Okay, I work with 18, 19, 20, 21-year-olds at my work. And there's terms that they use that I don't understand. Okay, it's like they use slang. Okay, a few of them use slang. And one of the new words they come up with is the word roadman. Okay, and I'm there and I'm thinking, what's a roadman? They explain to me a male version of a roadman. Now, if you live in England, you might see a roadman tomorrow. And if you know what a roadman is, then you might find this very funny. I call her Liv Roadman Morgan. But a roadman is someone who wears a bucket hat, wears trackies, and like a fanny pack. It's kind of gone back into fashion. They're like the lowest of the low. They're scumbags. They're filthy. They're dirty. They would stab you for your phone.
Out of all three of those, I only know what one of those is.
What, a scumbag?
No. Like you said, a bucket hat. I mean, like a little, a trucker hat.
It's like an old school hat where it's just a full circle. So you have your hat there, but it's a full circle, and then it kind of goes up.
Okay.
It's a full circle. That's a.
Okay. Now what are trickies?
I don't know what that is. Trackie. Trackies. That's slang these geezers use for tracksuit, like a full tracksuit, like that. Full of tracksuit.
Okay. I know what that is.
Hands on their cock when they're walking around. You know, the usual. Yeah, and for a female roadman includes. It's not a tucker hat. It's a hat on backwards, which Liv Morgan has. Nike Air Max shoes. Liv Morgan was wearing Air Max style shoes. Those trousers, and dress like a whore or a hooker. She ticks all those boxes. So she is now Liv Roadman Morgan. I hate her more than anything in this world. She just, every time I look at her, I just picture some roadman with his hand on his cock, walking and spitting on the floor. I hate roadmen. If you're listening to this and you're a roadman, don't watch me anymore, please. I hate roadmen.
You are scallywag.
Dirty creatures. They're not humans. They're creatures. They make me ashamed to be a human. Some of the filth. We'll move on. From my hate.
Yeah, we talked about earlier that, remember, the Ember Moon Mandy Rose match was like short, and it kind of needed to be because Rose is relatively new in the ring. This match was extremely, and it needed to be short. It needed to be short because you mean to tell me that Liv Morgan is going to put up any kind of fight towards Asuka? No.
See, if this was a real fight, Liv Roadman Morgan could just whip out a knife, and I think it would be a ball game. I think we would have a new NXT Women's Champion, not because she won it, but because she stole it. Quite frankly, I fucking hate her. I generally hate her. And if you like Liv Morgan and see potential in her, please put in the comments, because I would like to know if there is anyone out there, minus her parents right now, who actually have faith in her.
Well, but anyway, Asuka locked up with her, slapped her around a little bit, then locked her in like a. I mean, think about it. Liv Morgan couldn't take any kicks. She couldn't take any kicks. She couldn't take any submissions. In fact, Asuka just had to lock her in like a random shoulder lock and had her tap out. I mean, that's something she's never really. It's a move Asuka really has never. At least I've not seen her do. I mean, maybe she will do that as like a rest hold, but that's how drastically unprepared Liv Morgan is. They just had her. I think she got submitted in 2-3 minutes.
Yeah, that's generous. It was like in the time I writ my Roadmen notes down, the match was over, and that made me happy.
All right, then we got to our main event. Hideo Itami taking on Lince Dorado. In my opinion, this was the best match. I know I really enjoyed this one. Hideo bouncing back from that shoulder injury. Lince Dorado, of course, had a great showing in the Cruiserweight Classic, in my opinion. I think he should have gone a little bit further than what he did, but no, he had nothing to be ashamed of. Shake of the hands, they went back and forth, tied it up. I liked it one where they did that, where they teased that go to sleep out of that moonsault. I like the tope to the outside, but eventually Hideo caught Lince Dorado, hit him with the go to sleep, gets the pin, gets the win. Austin Aries attacks him from behind. Hideo fights him off. Austin Aries turns tail and run, and then that's the end of the show.
Yeah. Karen?
I thought it was a great main event.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, it was a good main event. It was a bit sloppy at times. It felt like they really haven't worked much together in the past, which is understandable. If they haven't wrestled before, the chemistry isn't going to be there. But, I mean, I didn't see nothing wrong with it. I would prefer a Cedric Alexander-Hideo Itami match, but I'm just a Cedric Alexander mark, and I'll be honest to that. If Cedric Alexander's probably my favourite pro wrestler on the planet right now. I absolutely adore the man. Really, really do. But, I mean, with the GTS, okay, I understand why he's doing it, but I wish it was saved for special occasions, not just thrown out there for a random episode of NXT. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think that it should be saved for big-time events, and then when it does happen, they're going to pop like they did at Brooklyn?
Like the GTS?
Yeah.
Just the GTS? You know what? No, I think, okay, if he was just, adopting it, I guess, yeah, but he invented the move. He straight up invented it, let it be his finisher. I mean, it's better than, his finisher before taking back his move was like this vicious drop kick into the corner.
I guess maybe just, yeah, I guess. I don't know, I just wish they kind of saved it, because they stayed so long at protecting it, didn't they? They just protected, then when he did it, it meant something, and then they're just going to do it every time.
Well, here's the thing, the cat's already out of the bag. They teased it, they finally did it, so why are you going to take it away and then tease it, and just do it again? It doesn't...
Yeah, you're right, actually, when you look at it like that, from that perspective.
It's like I give you your birthday present, and then I take it away, and then I wait like another month and give it back to you. You're like, okay, this is what you fucking gave me last month, asshole.
I did like Aries beating on him and then running away, though. I did really like that.
Oh, yeah.
I did really enjoy that. And I'm looking forward to Aries versus Itami. I hope they save it for a takeover in Toronto. Mm-hmm. I think that'll be a fucking awesome match. It really, really will. I'm really looking forward to it.
Oh, one of the things I wanted to talk about here, and this is just like a minor note here. I can't find out who they're fighting, but I noticed that one of the tag teams for the not the Cruiserweight Classic, I wish, but no, the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, they're pairing up Cedric Alexander with Andrade Cien Almas.
That's interesting. That's really interesting.
Dude, I like that idea. I really do. I think. Well, here's why. They've been trying to get Almas over as a face, and right now, Cedric Alexander is like over huge. I mean, he's only been in WWE for a short period of time. I mean, he just stole the show with the Cruiserweight Classic. He's only wrestled one match to date, and that was against Almas in NXT. And they've been trying to get him over as a face. Why not? They can get that rub, and maybe they can finally get him where he needs to be. Because I really felt like Almas could really be something if they can get him on the right track. I mean, right now he's a luchador that's they kind of took away that offense that he's known for. You know, he was known for as La Sombra down in CMLL. And I think when they did that, I mean, it's just kind of like, for him, it's kind of like wrestling with a ball and chain around his leg.
I reckon he'll go back. I reckon he'll go back to Mexico. There's no way he's going to stay here, get treated like that.
Yeah, if you listen to like Alberto Del Rio when he gave like a little shoot interview, he said that Almas already regrets signing with NXT and he's already looking to go back to Mexico.
Fair enough. And so
that's assuming he's talked to him, he's completely correct. I'm not accusing anybody of lying. I'm just saying.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and I mean, if it is the case, we'll say that that is the case. Then they're just trying to get Almas on TV, do something with him. Magic might happen. If it doesn't, it doesn't. If it does, it does. But as long as he's on TV, who gives a shit? You're still using him. You're still making your money's worth from signing him. So it doesn't really matter, does it?
Yeah.
But I hope he does go back.
But then again, we talked about maybe somebody's going to turn on their partner. I know they've been kind of giving Almas a test run on some house shows as a heel. So maybe that's something they'll do. They'll lose like a match, and then Almas will turn on Alexander. Boom! Now he's a full-blown heel. This gives NXT another heel to work with, another antagonist to work against, like maybe a champion. And there you go. You know what? I would also be in favor of maybe like a secondary title, an introduction of a secondary title. I would like to see something like, you can't be a television championship because you don't have television, but maybe something like a network championship or a lightweight championship, or maybe like the equivalent of like the junior weight championship they have in New Japan, something like that. And you can have something else to try to help maybe some of the lower card guys, work towards and build up towards. Because right now, if you're not a heavyweight, what are you fighting for?
Yeah, well, that's NXT in it, and that's this week's NXT in the books. Got any comments and live comments?
Look, I don't think we. Let's see. I'm going to give shout outs to Trevor Stevens, Susan Williams, and Chauncey Bullock, and of course we can't forget Andy Paps, baby. They're all watching live here. I want to say thank you for tuning in. There's really no questions. I think Chauncey's saying, hey, WWE's buying Ring of Honor. And I was like, don't you mean TNA? And he's like, I'm not a WWE guy. They're buying, I'm not a WWE guy. They buying TNA. Okay.
Dude, with this WWE and TNA shtick, I don't think WWE will buy them. I think this is actually just an incident that's just blown out of proportion. I think TNA they're the company that they'll never die. They're the company that won't die. Okay, they'll be there for Bound for Glory. They'll be there for the TV tapings the week after. TNA is the company that won't die. And it sucks because I come in here every week and I'm putting the product over every week. So I think it is generally a really good product in a week-to-week episodic television show. I think is great. Wrestling-wise, it's not that great, but entertainment-wise and storytelling-wise, I think they're absolutely fucking magnificent, and they've got me really excited for Bound for Glory this Sunday, and I will be watching Bound for Glory this Sunday and reviewing it live straight after. So they've done their job in making me buy the event, but I just don't want to see them not make it. And there were rumors today that they've already cancelled flights to save money for the Impact tapings after Bound for Glory, and that's just sad. I mean, I would be sad if it did, go, but what can you do? What can you do? Loads of unemployment. People are like, yes, TNA's going to die. I'm like, dude, do you know how many people that makes unemployed? It's not just the wrestlers. You got management. You got the production team. You got, people who work on the TV stations for that. I just don't like that. I don't like, being happy that a company's going out of business. Please, I don't care how much you hate it. I don't want unemployment in anyone.
Mm-hmm. And then let's see, D Rocks, he's joined us now. He says, "Did you hear about the women's tournament, like the Cruiserweight Classic?" Yeah, I've heard about that. That they're going to be starting a women's tournament. They're going to try to sign some new women talent, which I think is a smart idea. I mean, hell, I think right now, I think they've realized they've stumbled onto something here. Okay, they had a Cruiserweight Classic. They got rave reviews. It was at one point, I think it was the second highest rated show on the WWE Network. They signed some talent out of it. They've got new people to fill out some time on Raw. They're not doing it well, but they've got people there to fill out some time. And now if you get a women's tournament, hell, at this rate, I kind of wish they would put together maybe a tag team tournament.
Yeah, it's just there's so much talent out there. There's an endless amount of talent out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you can do any type of tournament, really.
All right, and that looks like it's going to do it for. Looks like that's going to do it for live comments. No more questions here. So, in the meantime, I want to tell everybody to check us out at KocoSports.com. That's KocoSports.com. It's your home for combat sports. It's where the world goes to kick ass, and most importantly, where it's okay to be a passionate fan. Also, shameless self-promotion alert here. We want you to go to Amazon.com. Dave Koco, our founder, the CEO, the chairman of the board, has written a book. Yeah, I know. I'm shocked he could read too. This is his first novel. It's called Operation Freakshow. It's not for the easily offended. It's not for the faint of heart. You can get your copy now. It's only like $6. So, go ahead, just go over there, order it. Speaking of Koco, he hopes to be back probably just a few more months now. He's had some personal issues, and plus he's been trying to get this book thing taken care of, and with the book coming out and everything. Definitely worth checking out. Also, be sure to check out our reviews. See, we've got a Raw review, SmackDown review. We've just done NXT. Sammy's going to have Lucha Underground reviews up sometime within the next 24 hours. Okay, hopefully we'll have a TNA review knocked out. I'm going to try to get back into Ring of Honor now that I've actually got a fucking normal schedule now where I don't have to go to bed like super early in the morning or early in the evening, now. So I would like to be able to check out some Ring of Honor, and then of course we'll start all over again on Monday. So, okay, anything you need to add?
Dave's book. It's generally I'm about to start reading it. I ordered it from Amazon on your Kindle. You just go at Amazon, order it, and on your phone, it's a Kindle. You click it right there, and you just it's absolutely magnificent. And yeah. I'm looking forward to reading that as Boom Boom's ghosts start to haunt him again.
Yeah, I actually had to test read some of that book to help out Koco, and I made it to about chapter 7, and I was like, yeah, Koco, I think I'm gonna tap out on this one, because it was like not because it was like not because I was offended or anything. It's just because I knew some of the stuff he was writing about was kind of based off reality, and to me, I was like, if it's all fiction, it's all made up, I can whatever, I don't care, but I felt like it's based on something kind of real. It just was uncomfortable. So
good promotion of the book. Boom Boom's promotion of Dave Koco's book.
Mm-hmm.
Buy it. It made me feel uncomfortable.
Exactly. I know. I'm getting my copy, so I'm gonna give it another go.
And if you want the paperback edition is now available. I think it's $12.
Something like that.
I mean, I got it for it was converted to English pounds. It was around about £4. So great bargain, really good bargain on the old Kindle. And I've never used the Kindle app before. It was so bad. I said, Koco, I've bought your book about 2 months ago. How the fuck can I read it? He's like, you got to do this, got to do that, got to do that. So it's all good. It's all good. It's all good in there.
All right, so that's going to do it for us. So in the meantime, like, subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. We'll have more shows coming out. So this is Booms for LK saying the boom just went bang, and I am out.